Hey guys, good, the bad, and the unusual. This is going to be another contest entry because they're all popping up, and I'm actually falling behind. I think I need to do like 2 or 3 more, but I've been pressed for time lately. Anyway, this one is from Mr. Joel or Jesus. He's been a pretty good friend to us ever since we started doing these videos. He really knows and loves his Criterion stuff, so I really like that he was giving away Criterions because there's nothing more suitable for him. Anyway, he recently just sold me on Women in the Dunes. I've been thinking about picking it up, and I was kind of iffy for a while, but the way he described it in his message to me, I'm sold. I got to pick that one up. Anyway, he wanted a top list. He didn't really specify how many. He said it's kind of up to you, and I was going to do like a top 10, and I was like, nah, I can't. There's just so many good ones. So I ended up picking 30. I know that's kind of a bit much, but I really couldn't narrow it down. I didn't want to leave any of the good ones off, so I think these are probably the most essential ones, in my opinion, that they've put out in the collection. And we've never done a video on Criterions, but I really love the company, and I really like what they do and the stuff they release. So I'm going to go through this. I'm not going to talk too much about the films. I'm pretty sure the majority of them you guys already know what they're about anyway, but I'll go through my list. First one is Cronenberg's Dead Ringers. This one's awesome and weird. I know as far as Cronenberg fans, a lot of people really, really like this one, and then there's also another group that really hated this one. But I enjoyed it. I don't think it's his best work, but it's still really good. Next is The Vanishing. This one actually was generally, it was quite terrifying in all honesty, but in a really weird kind of way. It wasn't like it's not blood and guts kind of scary. It's like a psychological, this could happen to you kind of scary. Next is The Seventh Seal. This is a masterpiece, and the chess scene is still one of my favorite scenes in the history of film. I really do need to pick up the Blu-ray release for this because I never liked the cover art for this one. When they redid it and they put the new cover on it, I saw it and I was like, man, I really need that because I really don't care for this cover. Next is Robinson Crusoe on Mars. This is the special effects were all done by the guy that did the original War of the Worlds, and I thought that he did a much better job with this film, and I think that the story is incredible, and I'm really glad that the company picked this up, because it's not something that you would really expect them to pick up. Next is Naked Prey. This is about a guy who he's working in Africa, and African tribesmen are trying to hunt him down, so it's him pretty much trying to get out of the kill zone and get back to his camp while he's being chased by these dudes here. It reminded me a lot of the Italian cannibal films in a lot of ways. So if you like that kind of stuff, like Jungle Holocaust, Cannibal Holocaust, that kind of stuff, I would check this one out. It definitely needs some more credit. Next is the original Lord of the Flies. I love the book. I love the first movie. I love the remake they did for it. I just think that it's a really cool story, very original, and it really puts a point out there. It really makes a very strong point, and I really enjoyed it. Next is Life of Brian. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen this one. It's just a lot of fun. My favorite part is when the aliens randomly pop up in their ship. So bizarre, so crazy. I love it. Next is Straw Dogs. This is just a classic, and I really loved it. And the end of the film is just perfect. I know they're remaking this, and I'm actually excited to see the remake. I think that if they can do as good of a job as they did with the I Spit on Your Grave remake, then they'll do a pretty good job with Straw Dogs. Next is Onibaba. It's a Japanese horror film about a mask that possesses people, I guess. An evil spirit type Japanese film. Really great, really underrated. I think more people should check it out. They would definitely like it. Next is the only Wes Anderson film I picked out. Even though I like all of his films a lot, I went with The Life Aquatic. It's my favorite, and I just got this one. I picked this up at a pawn shop for $2, and it was the 2-disc edition. And I did not know that they did a 2-disc one. I had the 1-disc release for a long time, and I just sent that to a friend. But I didn't even know they had a 2-disc edition, so I was pretty happy to find that for like $2. It was awesome. Next, we got Equinox. I think I reviewed this on our old channel. It reminded me a lot of The Evil Dead, just the story in general. They find a book, demons come out of another world, and the kids get messed with out in the woods. It's almost the same story. Great stop motion, tons of fun. More people should check it out. Next is Brand Upon the Brain. This is a Canadian cult film. I think it was released in like 2006 or something. It's definitely, it reminds me of like Eraserhead and Tetsuo. It's a black and white, really surreal, crazy, bizarre film with lots of cuts. It's cut very closely. Tons of fun. Definitely people should check that out. Next is Jigoku. It's a film about hell. It's a Japanese film about hell. It's a little bit slow at the beginning, but it picks up near the end. When they actually go to hell, I was like sucked in. The visuals are awesome, and it was. I never would have found this or have known about it without knowing about the Criterion collection. Next is Sweet Movie, and this is a very surreal film. I honestly don't know where it's from. I know that it's I think European. It's just a really bizarre, surreal film. You can't really describe this movie. You just got to check it out. It's crazy. And I was also gonna put the other film that he did. I think it's like called WR, The Mysteries of Something, but I had to keep it to just 30, so that one didn't quite make the cut. Next is Solaris by Tarkovsky. This was remade. You guys should know this. They remade this with George Clooney. You should know the story. But this is the Russian original. I know they redid this, or they re-released it or something, like with the color or with something tinted blue. But they got a re-release on Blu-ray. I like this cover more, though. Honestly, that's the only reason I didn't upgrade, is because I like this cover more than the new cover, which is probably a really bad reason to hold on to something. But yeah, love that one. Next is another Cronenberg, Naked Lunch. This was the first Criterion I think I actually watched, and it's everything I like in film, just pure craziness. Fellini's 8½, a classic. Everyone's probably checked that one out. Next is Seven Samurai. I was so happy when they re-released this in this awesome set, because just the cover, just everything, the book that it comes with, they did such a great job with this release. I liked it a lot more than their original release. Next is, yet again, another Cronenberg film, Videodrome. Again, everything I like in film, pure craziness. Getting sucked into TVs, guns and arms coming out of TVs, just craziness. I love it. A film that I don't see talked about that much, Bad Timing. A little bit of a, I don't want to say extreme film, but it definitely has some elements to it that won't appeal to everyone, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a pretty good story. Next is Man Bites Dog, a black and white crazy mockumentary about a serial killer. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Next is Hexen. This is actually really, it's like really old, something like 1920 or something like that. But it deals with hell and witchcraft and Satanism, and it has two different versions. It has the original release, and then the one where they, the one from the '60s where they like redid the soundtrack. I actually like the original one more than the newer soundtrack. All right, next up, The Blob. I watched the remake before this one, so I didn't like this as much as the remake. But it's really cool to see that they would pick up something like this. Like, when I think of Criterion, I don't think of The Blob. That's just not something that pops into mind. So just for them to grab this one up and release it is really cool, and it gives us all a chance to see an awesome transfer to a really old film. Alright, next I'm going to show these two at the same time. In the Realm of Senses and Empire of Passion. I watched them back to back on the same night, and I thought they were both brilliant. They're very sexually explicit, though, so if that stuff bothers you, I wouldn't even bother with that stuff. Next is Vampire. This is another one of what I think one of their best releases, just because when they do it in these awesome like book and digipacks, and they put them out in these nice chunky releases, I dig that stuff. That's what I think they should be all about. But lately they've just been doing these clear cases like this. But that's what I think of when I think of Criterion. Really cool, awesome releases. Again, that one's like a black and white film. It's pretty old, but it's got a very gothic feel. Next, we got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I've always liked this film. I don't know the difference between this release and the regular release that came out, but I heard rumors that this one was better. My only complaint is that the paper does not fit the case. If you look at that, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. Anyway, the paper doesn't quite fill the case, and it's not just my copy, it's every copy that I've ever seen of this film. They just like skimped out on the paper, and that's kind of disappointing. Next is Brazil. Again, I love how they do these, just when they do these nice chunky ones like this. And Salo's another one that got a real thick, cool release. Man Who Fell to Earth was another one that got a nice thick release with a book and everything. But another just pure crazy film. Absolutely love it. And the last two are Blu-rays I got. Antichrist. This has been talked about a lot lately. And the film House. A crazy Japanese film that I was astonished got released on Criterion. Now, a little story for you guys dealing with the Criterion collection. I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time. I don't know exactly how many have. I'm saying I would guess like maybe 60 to 70 of their films. I don't like everything that they release. I think that they some of it's boring to me. Some of the older ones, I'm not into it. But I still think that it's awesome that they're releasing them. But I would say back in 2006 or 2007, I sent one email to the company when I first got hooked on them. And I sent them. They used to have a recommendations thing on their website where if you had a film that wasn't released or that you wanted to see get released, you could email them a recommendation, and you just had to link them to IMDb, that page for the film. And I sent them a link for House, because I had a bootleg of it at the time. Black Moon, which it's already been picked up by them, and it's coming out, I think, the end of this month or the beginning of next month, and I'm very excited for that because I had a bootleg of that also. And Antichrist. So no, it must have been late 2008 when I sent them this, because it was when Antichrist was there was a screener that was floating around. Everybody was bootlegging this screener, and I had this screener. So I sent them an email that had all that. I had House, Antichrist, and Black Moon. And as crazy as that is, all three of those have been released now on the Criterion Collection. And I thought that was a kind of a cool story, because I've never emailed them before. And I know that I guarantee tons of people have emailed them those exact same suggestions. But it just goes to show that they do listen. And if you guys know of any awesome films, like my wife sent them an email for Hourglass of the Sanitarium or something along those lines. It's a surreal film. It's been released in Europe, but it has no release in America. So I still think that's a good choice too, and I hope that they do pick it up. But it just shows that they listen. They will release stuff that the people are asking for. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everyone goes and subscribes to Jesus' channel. He's got, I think, every Criterion release. And I think he collects the old releases and the new releases, and he just does it all. He's a big fan of theirs. So if you like that stuff, check his channel out. He's got pretty much all of it. That's going to do it for me, guys. Take it easy. I'm sorry this one ran really long, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I never really talk about the Criterion Collection. So enjoy, guys. Take it easy.